So I just wanted to take some time and do just a little video voice lesson. Maybe you have always wanted to take voice lessons but never have. This video is going to be good for you. Maybe you have taken voice lessons before, but it's been a while. This could be a good refresher for you. Or maybe you've been taking lessons for a while and with everything going on, have had to stop. This is going to be good for you as well. Maybe I'll say something a little differently than your teacher and maybe something will click for you. This would also kind of keep you in the swing of things. This is going to be really for all ages, all skill levels. We're just going to be really talking about just getting a good foundation. In order to get that good tone, that nice pleasing tone, you really need a good foundation. And your foundation is going to come from your breath support. So let's just do a few things to kind of get warmed up, and then we'll start talking about breath support and building a great foundation. So it's going to be a little tricky with me in this frame here, but I always like to just warm the body up. Just start with some arm circles, and you can pause the video here and spread out so you can really have time to move. Just shrug your shoulders, then move them back. We just want to kind of loosen up the body because the voice is a muscle. So we need to kind of warm up that muscle as well. And you can kind of swing your head gently, loosely, from side to side, and then you can go backwards. Okay, so once you feel like your body is warmed up, ready to go, let's talk about breathing. So this is something that's commonly misunderstood about singing. What you want to do when you breathe is you want to draw the air down. So a lot of people think, oh, if I expand my chest and inhale this way, then I'm really getting a lot of air. Well, what's happening is you're not drawing your lungs down and really letting your lungs expand and fill up with air. So your diaphragm sits underneath your lungs and it pulls down your lungs and allows them to expand and fill with air. So when you breathe in, you don't want to go, because you're not doing any work down here. When you breathe, you want to leave this still. Now it's going to expand obviously, but you don't want to see your shoulders come up. You want to see the expansion happen down here. So you're going to go and expand this way. So watch me again. I'm going to breathe in down here and I'm pushing right here. I'm drawing my air down and then out. So watch me from this way. See, nothing's happening right in here. You're going to see a little movement here, but I'm not going, or we don't want any of that. If you're making a sound when you're inhaling, then you're closing off and constricting and not allowing as much air to get in as possible. So this is something that I suggest you do with a mirror in front of you. I tell all my students, record yourself, watch yourself in a mirror as you sing, because what you may think you're doing is maybe not what you're actually doing. So be sure and watch yourself. So when we breathe in, we're going to draw the air down and out. So I'm going to breathe in one more time just to show you. Now, once I've taken that nice deep breath in, I am pushing the whole time that I'm singing. So I breathe in and then I contract my abs like I'm doing a standing crunch so that I'm hanging onto that air. Because if you draw your air down and you take this nice deep breath, but then you let go of it, you've just lost all that beautiful air that you just took in and you have nothing left to sing with. So that could be why you're not making it to the end of the phrase, or why by the time you get to the end of a phrase, you're ready to take your next breath, you're losing your pitch. So when you breathe in, contract and push. I'm pushing my stomach out the whole time I'm singing. And I only release that tension when I go to take my next breath. So watch this. I'm pushing, and I relax and take my next breath. So we're gonna do a couple things to try this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna breathe in and then you're gonna go for 4 counts. So do it with me. Ready? Breathe in, push, and then okay, let's try that again. Ready? Breathe in, and now, when you are done with those 4 counts, you should be completely out of air. This helps you meter that air. So let's try it again. This time, we're gonna breathe out for 8 counts. Ready? Breathe in. Okay, try it one more time. Ready? Breathe in. Okay, good. And I am pushing right here, pushing on the waistband of my pants. The whole time I'm going, okay, so let's try another one. We're gonna breathe in for 4 counts this time, and then we're gonna go 4 times. Now, when you do the, you should feel a little pulse, just a little bit, pulse right here. And that's how you know you're doing it the right way. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna breathe in, and then, sorry, it's hard to do that. Normally I'm not the one doing it, but I'm doing it to demonstrate for you. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna breathe in again for 4, and then we're gonna go out. Okay, so here we go. Ready? One more time. So this time we're gonna breathe in for 4, and then we're gonna go for 8. Okay, so ready? A little trickier, isn't it? So go ahead and take a second, pause the video, and try both of those exercises. Really work on controlling your breath from right here, because if you can do that, then you're gonna have an awesome foundation for a nice rich tone, okay? So now that you've come back with me from trying those breathing exercises, I want to give you something else that you can try at home just to really practice your breathing. Now this is going to be something that you're going to want to do maybe when you're actually singing a song or when you're going through like a vocal warm-up. But what you're going to do is you're going to sit on a chair like this, or piano bench, whatever you've got. You're going to sit on the edge of the chair. Then you're going to take your elbow, put it on your knee, and lean forward. Then you're going to breathe in just the way I taught you. Push against that waistband. It's gonna feel a little tight, but that's okay. So push against that waistband and for your inhale, and then, or, you can also do it when you're singing like a scale. Okay, so that's another way that you can practice your singing and really work on your breath support and breath control. Now, let's take it to the keys and work on vocal warm-ups. Now, for any of my students that watch this, these are gonna be very familiar to you and the same ones we do every time. There's a lot of reasons why we do the same ones every time, but one of the main reasons is so that you get comfortable with doing the same exercise and you really can hear your progress. I can hear your progress. And then you're not trying to learn new exercises every week. But anyways, enough of that. So what we're gonna start with is called a buzz. You're just gonna go. And I'm just doing that with my lips. I know it's really weird. Yes, it gets a little spitty and your nose is gonna start to itch. That's okay. So what I do is I just kind of place my finger lightly here. Don't pinch your nose. But just place my finger lightly here to kind of get rid of the itch. So one thing on a buzz, when your buzz stops, that means your air has stopped. So if all of a sudden you find yourself going, that means you stopped pushing out enough air. So you need to come back right here, take a hand and go, and make sure that you're pushing right here the whole time that you're singing, so that you can support that buzz. So I'm gonna sing the first few of these exercises with you, but I won't sing them all because I want you to be able to hear your own voice doing it instead of me doing it with you every time. And I know it's gonna feel high. Some of you are gonna do this and think, oh my goodness, she's taking me too high. No, no, no. Don't chicken out. Don't back off. Sing the whole thing with me. I'm not going to go too high, I promise. I'm going to keep it in a nice, comfortable range for everybody. What else was I going to say about that? Oh, sorry. When you get high, as we're going higher, you need more air. So you're going to need to dig deeper and push here. Don't push here. Relax this. This needs to stay nice and loose and relaxed. So you're going to push from here. As we get higher, don't back off. Use more air. If we start getting higher and you start backing off and getting scared and using less air, then it's going to sound crappy, okay? More air, the higher we go. All right, here we go. Do it with me. We're going to go. Ready? And. Okay, did you make it with me? You better. Okay, next exercise we're gonna do is gonna sound pretty similar. We're just gonna not do it with a buzz. We're just gonna go, ah. Okay, so on an ah. Now, us here in the Midwest, we like to sometimes go, No, we wanna keep it ah. Drop the jaw. If you drop your jaw and allow some space in there, then that's how you get that nice, warm, rich sound. You can't sing oh with your mouth closed and have a nice, rich tone. This doesn't work. You need to drop your jaw. And again, this is where watching yourself is going to come into play. Drop your jaw a little bit, and let that sound have somewhere to resonate. One other thing, when you go make a vowel like an ah, even when you're doing an E or an O, you want to feel a nice big round space in the back of your throat. Ah! Feel that kind of space, okay? Oh, that's what I should have done. I should have had you guys do some sighs. We'll do those at the end if I remember. You want to feel that nice big open space in the back of your throat. So here we go. We're going to do Ready? Breathe. Use your air. Nice deep breath. Don't use your throat. Okay, did you make it that time? So the more we warm up, the easier those higher notes should be. So what I was saying is deep breaths. Draw your air down and out, remember? And don't back off, push from here. If you get done with these warm-ups and you're feeling like, a little tight or a little tired, then that means you were pushing too much with your throat. You need to push with your air, push with your abdomen, okay? Next exercise we're gonna do, we're gonna go E-ah. So E-ah, E-ah. Make it steady, smooth, and connected, which is not always easy, but I believe you can do it. Use your air to connect the notes together. Okay, here we go. Ready? And E-ah, E-ah, E-ah. going to do is so you want to make smooth and connected, not or Don't scoop up to it and don't break the sound. Use your air, push. Sing into the note, not away from it. Here we go. Use your air. Ready? Breathe. Good. Okay. So sing into those top notes. Don't back away from them. Next up, we're going to do Now, remember what I said from before. Ha, 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 ha. You want to feel those tiny pulses right here. Okay? So this one is ha, 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 ha. Make it smooth and connected, and I'm not breathing in between I'm not breathing there. You're going to start and finish the whole exercise with one breath. I promise you can do it. Here we go. Ready? Breathe. Bell-like that sounds, it's because of where I've placed it. This is why you should, because I'm not here to like diagnose and listen exactly to what your individual sounds like, your individual voice sounds like, record yourself. So when you get to that note, what you want to do is focus on where you're placing that sound. So I'm not, that means it's too far forward. That means I've swallowed it too much. I've raised my soft palate, which is that sigh space that I talked about, and I need to talk more about that at the end. But I've lifted that soft palate and given that sound a place to kind of resonate and hang out. So be sure that you're doing that when you're singing. Next, let's do, so we're going to go, now for some of you, this is going to span a break, a voice break, and that's okay. What you want to do is we're going to try and navigate smoothly over that spot where you feel like your voice is kind of, doing like a little puberty jerk. Keep doing these kind of exercises just specifically over that spot of your voice. ee-ah. Now you might hear it in my voice. I have a little spot where I'm switching from head voice to chest voice. But the goal of doing these exercises is to try and make that as smooth of a transition as possible, and then to also not make a huge difference between your chest voice and your head voice. So when I sing, I don't want to be like, in my head voice, and then when I get down to my chest voice. That sounds like two completely different people singing. So that's another reason why when you do these exercises like this, you really want to pay attention to your breath support and how you're singing these so that you sound like one consistent voice all the way through. All right, so we're going to go ready, and okay. Next up, we are going to do Now, we want to try and make that as smooth and connected as possible. So you don't want to sing ee-yo-wee, yo-wee, yo-wee, yo-wee. That's really choppy. Use your air and pay attention to your diction, which is how you pronounce things. To make it as smooth and connected as possible. So that's the goal in all of these exercises, is to make them smooth and connected. Think about like you have the sustain pedal on your voice. And I'm connecting each note to the next note instead of... Does that make sense? Okay. Going on. Here we go. E-O-E-O-E-O-E-O-E. Ready? And E-O-E-O-E-O-E-O-E. E-O-E-O-E-O-E-O-E. Okay, so going back to something that I mentioned earlier that I meant to talk about at the beginning. Anyways, you hear me going, ah, that's something that's called a sigh. And when you do a sigh, that's like the perfect placement for your sound. So a lot of voice teachers, we say, if you can sigh, you can sing, because the sigh is the very basic element of singing. So when you do a sigh, ah, you are placing, remember I talked about placement, you're placing your sound in the exact correct spot that it needs to be to sing every single note. If it wanders from that specific place, then you need to fix it. Bring it back to the sigh space. So what I keep doing this, and what I need to explain this. So when you're singing, you want to think about placing your sound right behind your eyes. So I'm using a lot of terms, and I want to make sure I explain this correctly. So there's things called like resonance, and that's the warmthness, the richness of your tone, which can really come from how you breathe and how you support that tone. It also comes from opening up in the back and giving that place or that sound a place to hang out. Now, there's something called placement. So when you hear someone that sings, that's placing it far forward. That's a nasal tone. when you hear somebody that swallows the sound. They've placed the sound too far back. This is a good thing that you can do when you warm up, just on like a ah. Focus on placing the sound right behind your eyes, right behind your hands, okay? So again, this is something that you're gonna have to record yourself and listen to. So when you, if you feel like you may not have the right placement, there's 2 ways to check. So go back to the ah, that sigh space. Really pay attention to what that feels like when you're singing. If you're singing and it's not feeling ah like that, then chances are it's in the wrong place. It's placed incorrectly, or you've let your soft palate fall and now you have nowhere for that sound to even resonate. Another thing that you can do to make sure you're not bringing it too far forward
is pinch your nose. So if your nose starts to vibrate when you sing,
that means you've moved your sound too far forward.
if you can sing
And not have any sort of vibration. Do you hear that? So now I've placed my sound further back. My nose is not vibrating. It's also good training to do that for if you ever have to sing with a cold. Don't ask me how I know. But anyways, so those are a couple things to think about as far as placement goes. So when you're doing your warm-ups, after you've finished your breathing exercises, go ahead and just do a few sighs. You can do them with me now. So we're gonna go, ah. We're gonna start low and bring it up high. Here we go. Ready? And ah. Let's try that one more time. Ready? Breathe. Ah. Okay, and then the next one we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ah, or sorry, ah, sorry, I was gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna start at the top and let it fall. Here we go, ready? Breathe. Make sure that you do them nice and long like that to really feel what that feels like. One more time, we're gonna start at the top and bring it down. Ready? And all right, so pay attention to what that feels like and make sure you're singing no matter what vowel, E, A, A, O, that they all feel open, just like when you're doing a sigh. One other tip, make sure the tip of your tongue rests against the back of your bottom teeth. Ah, just like that. Okay, that's all I have for you guys. I really hope that's helpful and I hope that blesses somebody today and just kind of maybe gives you a few tips and a few pointers to kind of start on your singing journey. And as always, feel free to reach out with questions and I hope you guys have a great day.